Quarterbacks. Beloved sex symbol of Hollywood, the orchestrators of the offense, players who can single-handedly win teams' games, and also Daniel Jones. Your boy is the newest QB1 for the Atlanta Falcons. That's right, no more Desmond Ridder. You are welcome. Not alone though, as division rival Tampa Bay have their own new QB, my good friend Brandan. Leading the boys out of the locker room for Game 1 against fellow rookie QB Bryce Young and the Panthers, I was filled with hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams of a great season and amazing success. Hopes and dreams that would soon and swiftly be crushed. In fact, they were crushed on the very first play when fellow first-round pick Bijan Robinson ran the ball for a whole ass 0 yards. As punishment for his failures, I threw a certified hospital ball to Bijan for my first pass attempt of my career. A little glimmer of hope re-entered my dark soul on the next play when my first completion was a deep bomb on 3rd and 10. Thankfully, I was put back in my place after back-to-back useless runs by Bijan, followed by me getting rocked by a free rusher off the edge. We punted the ball away and I went back to the sidelines, holding back tears from the realization of what I had gotten myself into. I was far too focused on not allowing anyone to see the boiling emotions inside of me, and I simply stood in the pocket on the next play. This, predictably, resulted in a sack for a loss of 12. After a gain of 2, we were 3rd and long again. After realizing that I had to actually throw the ball to avoid being sacked, I was able to pull a Houdini out of my ass and launched a deep ball to the opponent's 30-yard line that was miraculously completed. On the next play, I would turn around to hand the ball off to Bijan. Then, time stopped. His box score flashed into my mind. 3 rushes for 1 yard. I pulled the ball away and I ran to throw. I was able to make a nice completion to Drake London, who was almost able to power his way into the end zone. The next play saw Algier show Bijan how to get it done, breaking 2 tackles before getting into the end zone for our first touchdown of the year. Before halftime, Bryce Young made sure to complete a 72-yard touchdown pass to Adam Thielen that put Carolina up 16-7. On 1st and 10, I saw a couple of my buddies running towards me and we embraced in a group hug. I got back on track on the next play with a 10-yard pass recovering the yards I had lost on the previous play, and another pass of 10 yards kept the offense on the field. We continued to march down the field until 1st and 10 on the 11. Now take it away, pass me. Oh! My first touchdown is a rushing one! Hey! Oh, look at the fireworks going off! Let's go! Takes off with it, tucks it, slide right on into the end zone. Bijan finally broke off a big gain of about 13 yards, but that would be the end of the good times, as on the very next play, my player decided he was too good to slide and promptly fumbled the ball. On the sidelines, I was seen staring blankly at the ground and unresponsive to all attempts to get my attention. On 3rd and 1, I remembered I had Carolina's defense on my fantasy team, so the turnover wasn't so bad. In fact, it gave me a great idea, and I excitedly sprinted down the field for another big run before displaying my incredible acting skills as I accidentally fumbled for a 2nd time. I had one more chunk play this game over the middle to Landry, which he fumbled, but he was able to recover it. Then, to end the game, I dropped back to throw and locked eyes with Xavier Woods. I remembered the bet I had placed on him to get an interception. The 3-year, $1 million a year with no bonus contract flashed in my head, and I realized what must be done. That would be the end of Game 1, and Year 1 got off to an 0-1 start. Game 2 was against the Packers and got off to a flying start with a sack on a screen pass. How? Later, number 65 makes an absolutely beautiful play. Thankfully, I gave some of the money I made off my winning bet last game to the referee, who makes the play of the game converting on 3rd down. Overall, the first 3 or 4 games were really bad, and if you're wondering how Brandan was doing, he was simply put a lot better than me. Though despite me constantly making these types of plays, he still has more interceptions than me on the season. The next drive was much better as we managed to string together some good plays, converted a 4th down in the red zone, and ended with a rushing touchdown by yours truly. Honestly, if I keep playing like this, we might as well build a hospital in the stadium.
If only his quarterback was stupid enough to throw the... Yes, sir! Looks like I'm RCPing for hell today. You want to see a dead body?
And now he's dead!
Here's another nice drive with a couple big plays, including a quite long run for a touchdown by Patterson. It was a fairly close game, but to be honest, actually playing it didn't even feel close at all. A 57-yard field goal was quite the highlight though. Clearly I hadn't played poorly enough yet, so I rectified this immediately with a 2nd interception that put the game well and truly to bed. An 0-2 start to the year while Brandan was 1-1. Things only got worse in what was probably the worst overall game of the year. Early on, I overthrew a big play opportunity, and after getting sacked on the next play, my patience was put to the test. Throw the ball, 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 throw the ball! Thankfully, my heart beats tranquility, so I stay calm as to turn the game around. Just kidding, I immediately threw an interception. Even though the game was pretty bad overall, I did manage to make some nice throws, and there was definitely something to build on. Nothing really solid though, as even when we got to a goal-to-go situation, we came up empty. Our best wide receiver is a man named Drake London. He is strong, quick, and young, with lots of room to grow. He even makes great catches to help me look better than I am, and he's injured. Well, there goes that. Not to worry though, as after coming within a distance equivalent to my patience of a touchdown, the next play saw us punch it in for the score. We avoided the shutout. Woo! I woke up the next day determined and filled with hope. I could turn this around, stop the sinking of the ship, and get a sick highlight reel for YouTube all at once. Excitement filled my mind as I sat down and booted up the game. I pressed play next game and loaded into Jacksonville, and we lost. Okay, I'll tell you a bit about the game. But yeah, long story short, we fall to 0-4 in the season, while Brandan's Buccaneers were 3-1. Early, Bijan Robinson fumbled the ball trying to stay on his feet and getting blasted by a second defender. Next drive, Bijan got back on track with a couple nice runs. Then I found Drake London deep down the field, almost getting a touchdown. All of that for naught though, as I fumbled even though it was definitely an incomplete pass, but oh well. We then marched down the field for a field goal. Now though, it is time for Bijan Robinson to hit a big bet as he literally steps directly out of the path of a perfectly placed pass to give his defender a free interception. I'm still to this day absolutely astounded he did this. Even the referee decided that what Bijan did was too obvious and decided to take the attention off of him by throwing a flag so blatantly in our favor, I think he might get MVP votes for it.
Bruh.
We took advantage of this and took the ball to the goal line. Unfortunately, I was still too stun-locked from what Bijan had done to me that I was incapable of scoring the touchdown. Later this game, Jacksonville used a challenge that nobody in the world could have possibly thought they would win. But you do you, Jaguars. Bijan was also able to get a touchdown while I was still staring blankly without blinking from his earlier exploits. More rookie QB versus rookie QB action as we took on the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud. Check out one of the best blocks I've ever seen. Continuing the drive, a very, very special moment was finally here. Yes! 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 That's my first passing touchdown! Oh my god! Filled with confidence from this historic achievement, I led the boys back down the field and did it again. Apparently the confidence didn't last very long as I threw a ball so inaccurate Donald Trump's shooter would be impressed. No idea what Houston's coaching staff was doing here, but a holding penalty was declined which gave us 4th and 1, which we easily converted. We continued the drive and converted it into a touchdown which, check notes, actually gave us a lead in the 4th quarter. Another 4th down conversion put the game firmly to rest and the Falcons were finally victorious. Game 6 against the Washington football team, or whatever they're called now, contains one of the most confusing, rigged, funny, and sad moments I have ever seen in a football game. Washington opened with a touchdown, but we quickly answered. Right back down the field we went to take another lead. I would also like to mention that Washington was undefeated headed into this game. I will now give Washington fans time to digest what could have been if we lived inside of a video game. Anyways, 30 seconds on the clock, we kicked a field goal and I thought that would be halftime. However, Madden never does what you think and we were back on the ball with 8 seconds left. Now, I was happy to run the clock out, but then the shenanigans begin. A face mask penalty stopped the clock at 6 seconds and we were now long bomb away from field goal range. Unfortunately, 6 seconds isn't enough time, but the referees know just how to solve that problem. Somehow, this play is called for a flag, stopping the clock at 0 seconds but allowing us to run a play where we kicked a field goal. You would think this would put the game to bed. Not when I have a chance to do something stupid it doesn't. We immediately started falling apart. Luckily, it was still a tie game when we finally snapped out of the shock at the pure horrors of watching me try to close out a football game, and we were ready to march right back down the field. I got us in field goal range and ran down the clock, but I still had a desperate need to throw the game. I did my absolute best as I twitched while I ran the ball with Bijan. Now, L1 does a funny thing in Madden called a lateral. Basically, in football you are allowed to pass the ball backwards even if you are past the line of scrimmage. This can often be used to evade a certain tackle and get an even bigger gain. Problem is, throwing the ball backwards for no reason is not ideal, especially when there isn't anyone there to catch it.
Huh?
Fortunately, we were still in field goal range and we won the game. It was much closer than it ever needed to be, but hey, a win's a win. Game 7 is up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and my arch nemesis Brandan. My dumbass messed up the audio though, so you won't get to hear our glorious arguments throughout the game. My first drive ended in a field goal thanks to my check down option being unable to get past his offensive lineman. On the second play of Brandan's first drive, he's able to give us our first touchdown of the game. After getting into our red zone, Brandan has mercy for a second time and throws one up into double coverage, giving possession back to the good guys. Before I can even process the fact that I'm back on the field, I'm sacked. Once I'm back on my feet, I take us down the field to a 17-0 lead. A couple minutes later and it's 24-0. I will now bring in Coach 30 to explain exactly what happened on this play.
And here we go again, right? You're coming in scared, coming in timid, right? You're second guessing yourself, pissing down your leg, right? He puts a shoulder in your chest, just runs you clean over, right? You're not wrapping up, it's not really an athlete, he's gonna dive at his legs. Now it looks like Peters might be able to make this play, right? Right, but I'm scared, overcome with fear, right? It's gonna piss down my leg, give my life to Christ, get baptized.
No! Our defense was then immediately embarrassed once again. I know how intentional grounding works, but apparently not well enough. So if you know why this was called, let me know please. On this play, Brandan fumbles the ball and then his tight end is knocked clean out. Time for me to pull my signature maneuver. I make nice play after nice play. We march down the field. Then, moment of truth. We're on the goal line, and I get absolutely brutalized by Brandan's defender, fumbling the ball. That made me fumble? What, did he tickle me so hard that I fucking dropped the ball? All good though, I made up for it on the next play. Unfortunately, I made my guy my real height, 5'11". As you can see, this doesn't always work out very well. I took a knee to end the game, and that's our third dub of the season, baby. Tennessee was the destination for game number 8. The refs are back making their case for MVP. Now, I'm no defensive coordinator, but something doesn't seem quite right here. We go up 14-3 on a great run by Bijan, and our defense gets the ball back to us quickly. Right back to work for the young god quarterback. Forget all that ego I built as I continue to work towards the record for most fumbles in a season. We would not score for the rest of the game from here, so it was up to the defense to hold on for dear life. Thankfully they did, and a conversion on third down would put the game out of reach. We headed back home to Atlanta to take on Minnesota. Our first drive was mostly rushes, but it ended with a throwing touchdown. We got back on the ball and went right back down the field. That's back-to-back games that started off great for us, but if I wanted to keep winning, I knew I had to keep it up for more than 1.5 quarters. Oh! He came down with that? Yes!
Dan.
What a great game. 4 touchdown throws, good completion percentage, and we're winning the game. I am loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Anyways, surely nothing could ruin this perfect performance. Oh, what a hit. Oh, he injured him. Game 10 marks about the halfway point of the season if you include the playoff, so I'm going to end the video on this one. Oh baby, let me tell ya, what a game. We settle for a field goal on the first drive. We keep the momentum going and string together a few nice plays, and oh look, a passing touchdown. Oh look, an interception. Oh look, an interception. We get back on track with a deep pass, and can I just say, that last pick was not my fault, as the defender had to have some spidey sense to even know that the ball was near him. Sometimes, Madden, sometimes. I make it 2 touchdowns to 2 interceptions and make the fatal error of thinking things would continue to improve. The game continues to make me feel hope in its sick, twisted mission to make me feel as devastated as possible when we lose. My defense even got a safety that gave us the lead. Now allow me to demonstrate how to calmly accept failure in order to learn from your mistakes and improve. As you can see, I learned from my previous errors and improved my play. After realizing remaining calm is getting me nowhere, I bottle up my rage in order to throw a football as hard as humanly possible right up the seam. This actually worked. What doesn't work is my lineman's brain when he has to block on a screen pass. Touchdown pass number 3, and you might be thinking, hey, he has a lot of touchdowns this game, he must be winning or at least close to winning. Look at the score though, and look at this interception, and look at the score yet again. Who cares? What a way to end it, on a loss. Woo! So headed into our week 11 bye week, we are 5-5 on the year. Things are not looking good for our playoff hopes. However, I could always turn it around to become prime Peyton Manning in the second half of the season. Or maybe I'll disintegrate further and become 2020 Jared Goff. Who knows?
Next up, we got this motherfucker right here, Jared fucking Goff. Jared motherfucking Goff. Jared fucking Goff!